One of the most embarrassing days of my life was a certain December 26. I vow that the things that took place on that December 26 will never ever happen again as long as I live. But the things that happen on that day, of course, they happen to careless people, year in, year out, every now and then, whenever we have festivities. So I want to discuss 5 G's that should inform where and how you spend your December festivities. Of course, these 5 G's are informed by the lessons learned from that fateful, cursed, embarrassing day of that December 26. And no, one of the G's has nothing to do with G string. So I know you are very eager to find out exactly what I'm talking about. What is this embarrassment I'm talking about? And briefly, I'm going to give you the story. And I hope, because I'm going to share some of the most intimate moments of my life, I hope as I share this story, you are going to learn something. Even if you don't learn something, I hope you can share this video with someone who's going to get at least one lesson or two, so that at least they can save a life or help someone who is about to make serious mistakes during these December festivities. So what is the story? So on December 25th, that was like I think I was like 19 or 20 years, and people are asking, well, how old are you now? I'm still young. If you look at me very well, you see some puberty pimples on my face. But yeah, I think I was like 20 or 19 years. So as I was chilling at home on December 25th, my friend calls me. Yes, back then I had a phone. It was an Alcatel phone. In case you are a Gen Z, we used to have phones called Alcatel and Siemens and Nokia and Motorola. So I got a phone call on my Alcatel phone, and my friend says, bro, what are you doing tomorrow? Tomorrow is Boxing Day. I have this invitation and I want you to come along so that we can go and have fun. So red flag number 1, I am not a person who usually has fun. Fun was a very foreign concept for me. Well, don't get me wrong, I had my ways of having fun. I play guitar, I play piano, I had my ways of having fun. But red flag number 1, the moment someone is suggesting something that you usually don't do and you feel compelled to do it, you should pause and ask yourself so many questions. Anyway, the guy says, so tomorrow is Boxing Day and I have this invitation. I need to go to my uncle's friends because they are throwing a huge Christmas party. Now, this guy's uncle was a very rich man. He's a business person and he knows so many affluent people. And actually, the place where this party was held, these were foreigners from some of these exotic countries. I will not mention which one. But so yeah, the guy says, please come. In fact, we want you to be our designated driver. Red flag number 2. If you are going with some people to a party and these people are calling you a designated driver, you should be asking yourself, okay, why am I the designated driver? What are they planning to do that I will be the only person who's sober to drive? But anyway, it is December, it's festivities, it's a moment of sharing and celebrating and love. Christmas, Jesus is born, baby Jesus in a manger. So I said, yeah, cool, no problem. So December 26th, we go for this party. It was in the evening around the 6. Now at around 8:39, people were told to go to the swimming pool because they were heating up the swimming pool. Then they said those who feel like swimming, you can just go to swim. Anyway, so after swimming pool, of course, people were transferred to a certain place which looks like a hall. This is a very big compound. It has some servant quarters, visitors quarters, meeting halls. So people were transferred to some hall, and when we got there, the lights were dimmed, and then everybody to the dance floor. It was time for dancing, but they dimmed the lights so much. And I'm a guy who has never been in a nightclub. I'm a guy who has never attended that kind of a party before. So I didn't know what to do. So I was just lost and confused, and I decided to stand somewhere near the door. So there was this guy who was becoming too friendly with me. And this guy, he was asking me for my number. He was telling me how handsome I am. And he was like, bro, please, I want us to be friends. And I thought, okay, I'm making a friend. But this guy was becoming overly friendly. So I was like, okay, is he trying to be friendly or there's something sinister? So after speaking to a couple of people trying to find out what is happening with this guy, I realized that this is a gay dude and he's hitting on me. So what I don't understand, I don't know if I was supposed to be the wife or the husband. I guess we will never know.
Why are you gay?
Also in that place, so in that place also, there were so many beautiful girls, and I was tempted to approach some of these girls and talk to them and find out who they were. And of course, some of them were tipsy. Some of them were even coming to me. Some of them were talking. I started sensing the antennas in my head and the alarms in my spirit started going off. Now, red flag number 3. If you are in a place that you should not be, and you feel like the alarms of your spirit, you feel like your conscience is telling you should not be here, please leave this place. Do yourself a favor, leave that place right away, because what is going to happen if you don't listen to your inner person, you will not like it. Anyway, so it's around 11. People have been dancing and drinking. People are cozy. People are making up. Others were just sitting. Others were just sleeping on the floor. I mean, things were just messed up. So, because I could not dance, I could not drink, I could not talk to this guy who was hitting on me, and I was trying to prevent myself to become too cozy with these girls. Basically, I was fighting too many battles at the same time, but the major ones, I was trying to hold myself to keep myself from approaching these girls, but I was also trying to keep myself from not being approached by this dude who was hitting on me. Hey man, I have suffered. Ish. Anyway, so I can't dance, I can't drink, I can't hit on girls, I can't be kissing in the corners, and this guy is hitting on me. I decided, okay, let me do what is allowed for me to do. So what did I do? I went to the buffet place. I just went downstairs, went to the buffet, and then I said, I am going to overindulge myself. I'm going to sample every type of food that was on that table. The table was like 10 meters long. I started from the beginning to the end, and guys, let me tell you, there was every type of food you can imagine. I've never seen so many food. I've never seen so many types of food and so many colors of food. We used to know that food is either white, green, or red, and sometimes orange. But on that table, there was maroon food, green food, red food, yellow food, blue food, every kind of stuff you can imagine. So I ate the shrimps, I ate the chicken, I ate a crocodile, prawn, beef, mutton, everything mixed, all kind of assortments. I ate until I could not even stand on my feet. Basically, I got stuffed. So now, as I'm struggling to stand because I've stuffed myself, we just hear some serious commotion and people are screaming. So we go to see what was happening. And behold, when I get there on the dancing floor, I found my friend actually fighting with a guy over his girlfriend. So my friend was trying to force himself on a girl, and the boyfriend could not take it. So the boyfriend decided to fight with my friend. And now I'm looking at myself and I'm asking myself, oh God, how the mighty have fallen. Why am I here? How can I be here? But now this guy is being pounded and I'm the friend, so I'm supposed to go and help. And the dude is asking me to go and help him to fight this white guy over his own girlfriend. And I couldn't. So I decided to go and stop the fighting. So I'm trying to tell them, guys, don't fight. So now, as these guys were fighting and I'm trying to pull them apart, I got one big nice punch in the stomach, and everything started roaring up and down, and there was like a volcano simmering in my stomach. And this guy himself was punched several times. He started throwing up. So as he's throwing up, I'm trying to put him on the side, and everything is messed up. The lights have gone back on because everybody wanted to see what the commotion was about. And then me and that idiot friend of mine were the center of attention. But remember, I just got punched in the stomach, and I have eaten the assortment, and I have eaten the whole buffet from beginning to the end. Alpha and the omega of the buffet, that was me. And then looking at my friend vomiting, of course, my chemoreceptor trigger zone started triggering me now to bring back everything. I didn't know where the bathrooms were, but I said, please, I need to go to the bathroom. So someone just pointed to a place where there's a bathroom. I go there and they start throwing up. Everything, all colors, all rainbow colors were just coming out. Sorry guys, I know it's not a beautiful sight, but I warned you. I told you it is the most embarrassing day of my life. So anyway, cut the long story short, we drive home past midnight, way late. So I just go sleep in this guy's home, and you would think our problems would end after we reached home, but no. Remember, what goes in must come out, whether it comes out from the top or the bottom. The following day, of course, we had this profuse diarrhea. I got very sick. I had a headache. I was dizzy. I had this food poisoning. I had mixed every assortment of food, and some of these things, we are not used to them. I'm used to beans and rice, or maybe a piece of bread and a soda if I'm fancy. But then I had gone to a place where I was eating filet or fish, filet or mignon, filet or beans, whatever, all kinds of filet, and whatever. So I got sick for a while and I did not like it. So here are the lessons that I learned from this unfortunate party. And I've summarized it in 5 G's. So number 1 G, it's something I called godless or godlessness. Now, December usually is supposed to be a holy month, especially for Christians. But you realize that when these festivities are upon us, there's this mood, there's this atmosphere that comes on top of every person. I mean, everybody's in the mood. And me, I call it a spirit. So when that spirit of festivity has taken over, you don't recognize yourself anymore. You realize that now that fear of God departs, and then you start feeling like things that were not acceptable, actually they become acceptable. And now, once you have that first G, the godlessness, and then it comes in the second G, and the second G is guardrails. So what are guardrails? Guardrails basically are these things that keep you balanced. Guardrails are these things that give you self-control. Now, when you become godless, of course, all the guardrails are gone. You realize that you have loosened up. Things that were not acceptable, they start becoming acceptable. Where you had self-respect is out of the window, and then self-indulgence comes. You start feeling like, okay, it's okay. The places you would never go before, you feel like, okay, this time around I can just go. I mean, it's just a party. This is December. It's the month of holiday. It's a long holiday. Let me just go and have fun. So you allow yourself to do things that you would normally not do. You allow to go to places that you would normally not go to. And then that's what I say, guardrails have fallen. They are no longer guardrails. You can go anywhere, anyhow, anytime. And once the guardrails have fallen, then that leads to G number 3. And G number 3 is gutless. So, when you usually have the guts to stand your ground, you usually have the guts to say no. But when you become gutless, because there are no guardrails, you have become gutless. If they say we go left, you go left. If they say we go south, you go south. If they say we drink, you drink. If they say we sleep, you sleep. If they say we jump, you jump. There is nothing that stops you from saying no, because your defenses are all gone. You become gutless. And after you become gutless, the G number 4 is gullible. You become gullible. You just become vulnerable. You start falling for obvious traps. Somehow people are very intelligent. They become stupid. They start responding to any type of invitation. They start behaving in a manner that suggests that this was not a serious person, while they were very serious people. And then because of that gullibility that has come in, people are taken advantage of. People are made to do things that they will never do under normal circumstances. So you are taken in circles. You are taken in places where I should not be here. And people start over drinking, overeating, overindulging, over partying, and of course all these things lead to what? To somebody's detriment. Anyway, G number 5 is what I called generosity. So December festivities, December as a month is a very interesting month. December is a month that presents everything in abundance, right? So there's substances in abundance, there's materials in abundance, there's food in abundance, there's love in abundance. You find that someone who would never say hi to you is willing to come and give you a very big hug in December. And remember, this thing begins when we go for end of the year parties in our companies, in the companies or in our organizations where we work. So you find that people are willing to exchange gifts. So there's that abundance of love. People become cozy. People who would never say hi to you, a girl that you've been chasing for 10 years, one good December, she will be feeling very generous, and then she will be throwing herself at you. And then you start asking, oh my God, what's going on now? But it is December generosity. And of course, because of this generosity, you find that people are becoming too cozy. There's a lot of casual sex with the strangers. People are overindulging and over-intoxicating themselves. And of course, we know what happens after you are intoxicated. Some of us, we say more than we should say. Some of us, we do more than we should do. So we end up becoming so deplorable and miserable to the point where people who usually know you, and they start asking, is it him or is it not him? And by the way, let me just give a warning to someone who think very strong. You know, there are these people who say, wow, I can go anywhere, I can attend any party, I can just go to any place. And me, I'm very strong spiritually, I'm very strong morally, I can stand my ground. My friend, let me tell you something. You are wrong. Nobody is that strong. Nobody is that strong. You know, if you take a very hot charcoal and you put it in the ashes are going to make that hot charcoal cold. But charcoal, that one hot charcoal, it will never hit the ashes. So you are like one hot charcoal pretending that you can go and stand with cold ashes and you not be affected. So if you think that you are not going to be touched, you think that you are very strong, you will be there and you stand your ground and you will not be compromised, you are kidding yourself. You are lying to yourself. So the best thing is, don't go. Stay at home. Stay in your lane. Stay where you know. In fact, what I propose that people do in December, because of too much overspending coming from different places, what I have proposed is that people should position themselves to make sure that when people are overspending, some of the money can end up in their pocket. So now, as I finish, I'm going to give a bonus G, and that will be G number last or G number 6, but it's a bonus one. What I wanted to discuss was those 5 G's, but the last G is guilt. So after you have done all this despicable stuff, after you have disgraced yourself so much, after you have gone to these parties, after your guardrails has fallen, after you are a godless man going aimlessly and doing deplorable stuff, after you become gullible and gutless, and then you find generosity from all over the place, from so many people, what happens is that you become guilty. Because you know what you did is not something you are supposed to do. And for example, you realize that in January, if you work in a hospital, you realize that in January, that's when we have influx of people coming to be treated. Being treated for what? Diabetes is uncontrollable. Treated for what? Heart disease has increased. Depression is increasing because people have overspent money and they don't have money to take care of the bills in January. And of course, when you are overindulging, over-intoxicating, overeating, you know, those things also have consequences. You gain weight, unwanted weight. And when you are engaging in these over-partying and over-indulgences and depravities and debauchery, you find that actually some things may happen. You find that people get pregnant in the process. Of course, we know the route the pregnancy goes through. It is the same route that most of these venereal diseases go through. So you realize that people in January come for treatment with super gonorrhea. I don't know if you guys have heard of something called the super gonorrhea. Super gonorrhea is a type of gonorrhea which has resisted all medications. No antibiotic can touch that disease. If you go to the hospital, basically you're supposed to be hospitalized and all medications are supposed to be injectables. And you will be given a host of medication, and most of them actually, the regimens are try and error. So you find that people are becoming HIV positive in December. So that guilt, that remorse, that regret, you live with it for the rest of the year because of the festivities of 1 day, 2 days, or probably even 10 days. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. But yeah, that is the story of how I spent a very embarrassing December, and I was sick for the rest of that December, by the way, until January, until I went back to school, and I have never forgotten. So I just shared this story with you because I believe you can learn something. And I know if you are honest, you know, as I'm talking right now, if you are honest, I know some of the things I said. If you are honest, if you are to go in front of the camera also and do some confession, you will say that you have gone through some of these things. The overeating, the overindulging. Please be very, very careful. The kind of damage you can cause to yourself because of this hype that comes in December may be permanent, may be something which is going to give you pain for a long time. So let us be very, very careful. Let us stay on our guards. Let us keep the guardrails. And if you are a Christian, if you pray, please, I advise you to make December a very prayerful month, because the kind of spirits that hover around are there to bring people down. I have seen so many people disgraced. I remember we once attended an end of the year party, and I saw some of my bosses behave in a manner I never knew was possible. People you respect so much, you see what they are doing, you see how they are talking, you see the kind of behavior they are exhibiting, and then you're like, okay, all this because of a party, because of December. Anyway, so the 5 G's do not only apply in December, it is something you can apply even in January. Whenever there are festivities, you have to be very careful and think of those 5 G's, because those 5 G's are always hovering around to to see how they can take you down, to see how they can hamper with your productivity, to see how they can hamper with your mindset and your future. This is Winning Mind program. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this long video. I really appreciate you being around. I really appreciate you being with us. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. It's free and we will have fun. I have so many stories to share, and we will be bringing in so many other people on board so that we can build ourselves. Remember, be all you can be. And I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.